ददाति शुक्रांतिक वंदेहम श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं सजीवं साग्रजातं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगन्नाथ गोपीश कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्तकांत देवनाथ कृष्णवास धर्मांधि पंचकृष्णवास पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री राधा कृष्ण गौर हरे कृष्ण श्री राम हरे राम हुकुम करो कृपात परमानंद श्री चैतन्येश्वर नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठावत श्रुति भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती गौरवाणी प्रचार निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारणे हरे कृष्ण This is where we stopped last week. Very important in studying Bhagavad Gita is the clarity of the tattva, absolute truth. So this has to be very clear. One has to be very, very clear. Faith is not acquired, faith is awarded. You know, if not, what happens is it'll create trouble. You may be giving classes also, but internally one person knows whether you're honest or you're duplicitous. Who? Paramatma Krishna. So one has to be convinced. That's why last week we put there was a lot of emphasis on this verse. Only one word, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. So because we have a Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, based on Siddhanta we just follow, and Shastra Praman is very, very important. You know, Shastra Praman is very, very important. So the absolute truth is explained in three phases. Vadanti tattat vidastattam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatma iti bhagavan iti shabdate. Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan are the absolute truth. The Brahman is the bodily effulgence. Paramatma is the localized portion of Bhagavan. Brahman is the bodily effulgence of Bhagavan. But Bhagavan, who is Bhagavan? Bhagavan definition was given by father of Vedavyas, Parashara Muni. You know, Parashara Muni, he gave this definition. You know, Bhagavan means, Van means possesses. I told last week 6 qualities. You know, Aishwarya is the richest, nobody is richer than him. You know, Virya is the strongest, nobody is stronger than him. Yashash is most famous, nobody is more famous than him. Sriya, beauty, you know, is most beautiful, nobody is more beautiful than him. Jnana, you know, is knowledgeable and nobody is more knowledgeable than him. Having all these qualities in full is renounced fully, Vairagya. Nobody is more renounced and detached than him. So, after enumerating all these qualities, he concludes, Vedavyas concludes in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Itejam Sakalapamsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Indrar Vyakulam Lokam Hrudayanti Yuge Yuge. You know, if but one another point, because we are, India is actually, what is it, polytheistic philosophy. Uh, so if Krishna is that one God, who are the devatas? So many 33 crore devatas are there. So what is their position with regard to Krishna? We need to understand. You know, so like a company has a CEO, but he has so many departments: a marketing head, sales head, finance head, purchase head, country head, R&D head, support head, accounts head, like that. So if Krishna is that supreme Lord of Lords, Ekalishwara Krishna or Sabrutya, Indra is the rain god. You know, so he is also in charge of all devatas. Sun god is Surya is like electricity minister. Agni Devi is a power minister. Varuna is water minister. Vayu is wind minister. Lakshmi Devi is finance minister. Durga Devi is home minister. Kartikeya is a defense minister. Saraswati Devi is education minister. Yamaraj is placement minister. Brahma is construction minister. So, one point you have to understand, one point you should understand. Actually, uh, for example, Lakshmi ji, you let us, in general, we say Devatas are Jiva Tattva. You know, Jiva Tattva. Krishna is eternal, but Devatas are subject to death. Let us take it like that. Of course, there is small minor difference, like especially, you know, Lakshmi ji and all, but in general, Devatas, Krishna is a supreme enjoyer. Devatas, they're asked to, they're supposed to, do their given duties. Krishna, if you worship Krishna, you will go to spiritual kingdom, but Devatas are in heavens and their abodes are subject to destruction. Krishna is eternally supreme. Devatas are temporary. And you should all know this. Um, it's a little calculation here. But Kali Yuga is, there are 4 yugas. Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. If you, the Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. Double is Dwapara, you know, 8,64,000 years. Triple is Treta Yuga, 12,96,000. 4 times is Satyuga, 70,28,000 years. All put together, one Divi Yuga means 43,20,000 years. If this goes for 71 times, how many times? These 71 Divi Yugas go, they elapse. Then it's called one Manvantara. The Manu dies. Manu is the universal emperor for the universe. When Manu dies, all the devatas die. Present Manu is Vaivaswata Manu. If you read Bhagavatam, he is Swayambhu Manu. How many Manus are there? 14 Manus are there. How many Manus are there? 14 Manus. So 71 times means that when Manu dies, Indra dies, Chandra dies, Varuna dies. All the devatas die. And if it goes for, then again, after that, what happens? Again, another Manu comes. Vaivasvata Manu, Swayambhu Manu, So these Manus, they come 14 times. 14 Manus change like that. It means 71 into 14. Close to 98, 998. That many Manus change. Then Brahma says, I am sleepy right now. So that is one daytime of Brahma. They want to join. Yeah, you can come. Dimple Mataji, Teja Mataji. You can sit here and in one. Oh, you can sit there. Yeah. So 71 into 999, so 14 times Manu's change, the Brahma ready is ready to sleep. That is Brahma's daytime. And if the same thing goes in the night, Brahma's night is also same time. So the Brahma lives like that for 100 years. So in one Brahma's daytime, 14 times Devatas die. But end of the day, Brahma is also Devata. Brahma also dies. So this is very important. So and let me tell you, this sun is not a name. Sun god. There's a position. Today's sun god name is sun god Surya's name is Vivaswan. And today's moon god name is Soma. Today's um, today's Indra's name is Purandhara. Next Indra will be Bali Maharaj. Likewise, like Pradhana Mantri is not a name, it is a position. Likewise, these Devatas names, they are not names, they are positions. But different personalities come. So they are temporary positions. And the goal of life is when Krishna comes into picture, you like you want to you want to awaken the love of God. You want to cleanse your heart, get rid of lust, anger, envy, greed, and you want to acquire love for Krishna. But with regards to in connection with devatas, you don't see anybody doing full time for devatas. They know you worship devata. I want a green card. I want citizenship. I want job. I want money. That this. So you approach devatas for material desires. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, "Kamasta is the ratagnanam prapadyante any devata." So Arjuna, the people approach devatas for material gains. Now you understood. Your life is only 70-80 years, and in one Brahma's daytime, 14 Indras change. The whomever you are worshipping in Brahma's daytime, they are 14 per times that Indra is changing. So instead of worshipping Bandra, it's better you worship Brahma. Then Brahma also dies after some time. So then worship Krishna. That is the essence. That's what I'm trying to tell. Krishna is eternal, devatas are material and temporary. Heavenly position, heavenly planets are also destroyed. Once Brahma dies, the heavenly planet is also destroyed. Krishna gives us what we need. Whatever is good for us, Krishna gives. Devatas give us what we want. If you worship them perfectly, they'll give you whatever you want. But most of the time, whatever they give is very temporary because our lifespans are very temporary. You know, this is what I said totally so far. You know, Krishna is only one. He's eternal. But Krishna doesn't change. Devatas are subject to death. Krishna, he plays on the flute, or he doesn't do anything. So, but devatas, they work, they ascend duties. Krishna's word is spiritual world. 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, my abode is spiritual world. You know, uh, once you go there, you don't come back. Tadadvasayate surya na shashanka na pavaka yadgatvan nivartante tadha paramamama. So if you once go to Krishna's abode, you will never come back. But you can go there only after getting a spiritual body, after being liberated. Then only you can go there. But you can go to heavenly planets, which are part of this material world. But you can stay there only for some time. Once your punya is exhausted, you'll come back. Kshena punya martya lokam vishanti. Krishna tells this in Bhagavad Gita. This is about devatas. Same thing is mentioned in Ishopanishad also. So Krishna is eternally supreme. Demigods' positions are temporary. The motives of worship is usually people they approach Krishna. Of course, some people approach for temporary gains, but a person with knowledge approaches Krishna for bhakti, which will culminate in prema. Devatas, material desires. Anything you worship, Krishna, the fruit, the end result is eternal. Little bug, you chant one round, that is eternal. You do little service to Krishna, that is eternal. What is the verse? 2.40. Salvamapyesha dharmasya trayate mahatobhayat. But what about devatas? Devatas, whatever the fruits that you gain from devatas, they are material, temporary. Antavant phalantesham tadbhavanti alpamedasham. Demigods' results are temporary. Demigods give you what Krishna gives you, what you need. Krishna will never give you that is not good for you. That when you worship Krishna, Krishna will give you two things. What are that? Detachment and knowledge. Janetya svairagyam jnanam cha yadahaitikam. Masudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. This is Bhagavatam. But Devatas, they give you what you want. So if you worship nicely, that's why Krishna being eternal, as eternally Supreme Father, for our he keeping our welfare in his mind, he will never give whatever we want, but he'll give us whatever we need. What we want, what we need is same, then Krishna will give. If it is not good for us, Krishna will not give. That is the point you should know. But again, there is actually fourth kind we just finished in Shiva temple. You have to respect devatas because they are empowered representatives of Krishna. So calling police as police, there is nothing wrong. But if you call police as police commissioner, then that's a problem. So police is, simple police. He's doing his duty. But you cannot call him, your inspector, your sub-inspector, circle inspector, your IG and your commissioner, your IG and say, hey, my IG is next to me, I lose my job. So what is the right attitude? You worship devatas as the empowered representatives of Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna. Actually, they're like us only. But they're empowered, of course, very empowered. So respect them. Whatever respect they deserve, you should give it. But you should not disrespect them also. Daksha disrespected Lord Shiva. Krishna was not happy. Daksha actually had to lose his head. So they gopis prayed to Katyayani for what? To have Krishna as their husband. So in Krishna, what is that? Indra and Govardhan Lila, Krishna said, don't worship Indra, worship Govardhan. So if you worship Krishna, then all the devatas are satisfied. If you pour water to the tree, if you want to water the tree, pour the water to the root. If you pour the water to the root, then the root gets the nourishment, entire the tree gets the nourishment. You don't need to pour water to every leaf and pillar, every branch, every sub branch. So who is telling this? Lord Shiva is telling this. Yatha taror mula niseshinena tripyanti tatskanda bhujapasheka pranopahara chaitendriyanam tataiva sarvarhanam achyuteja. This, if you consider this entire cosmic manifestation as a tree, who is the root of the tree? Krishna is the root of the tree. And pour water to the root. So in other, if you worship Krishna alone, then all the devatas are satisfied. Yasmin tushte jagat tushtam. One has to be very clear. Then suddenly, then what happens, one day suddenly you end up, before a Devata temple. So there is nothing wrong offering obeisances. Pay obeisances. You are part and parcel of Krishna. Okay, please give me bhakti to Krishna's lotus feet. If you pray like that, there is nothing wrong. So another thing is, in India, there is a conception. You spirituality, you practice spirituality so that you will become God. That is the biggest. Krishna, that's the biggest wrong thing. Krishna does not say this in Bhagavad Gita. So we will see that in future. Actually not immediately, in the next verses only. What is the first lesson of Gita? We are not the body but spirit soul. First thing is, God is not light. God is a person. Light is Brahman, I told you. Paramatma is actually is a localized portion, but Bhagavan, Krishna is Bhagavan. So we are soul, one in quality. Water is H2O. One water drop is H2O. Ocean is also H2O. But water drop being tiny, it will be evaporated eventually. But the ocean being vast, it is never evaporated. Likewise, Krishna is what is the nature of the soul? Satchitananda. Sat, eternal, Chit, knowledge, Ananda, blissful. Krishna is also Satchitananda. He is eternal, knowledgeable and blissful. But Krishna is infinite. He has infinite energies. He is unlimited. But we are tiny. 10 power minus 4 tip of the hair. So because we are tiny, sometimes we are overcome by Maya, the influence of Maya. Krishna, being infinite, he is never overcome by Maya, but Maya is in his control. In Bhagavad Gita, several places Krishna says, Mama Maya Duratyaya. Arjuna, this is my Maya. For us, we cannot say this is my Maya because we are covered by Maya. But Krishna controls Maya, and Maya works under Krishna's direction. Maya Dhyakshana Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. This is also Bhagavad Gita. How many of you are understanding?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
We
Prabhu.
are this is, I mean, some of you may know it very well, but these one has to be very clear.
small.
So one has to be very clear on the fundamentals, then we can go fast. So we are one in quality, but different in quantity. So we are happy, floating a spaceship, but Krishna floats unlimited number of planets in, and multiverse in the sky. So we are finite, Krishna is infinite. We are Jivatma, Krishna is Paramatma. We are not creators nor enjoyers, but we are cooperators. So that is about the Krishna Tattva. One more thing I want to tell, is what Krishna and Vishnu. This one point one has to be clear. Uh, I think I skipped it. I told, right, is Krishna incarnation of Vishnu. Vishnu is, one has to be clear. Last week I told. Actually, I always say this: at home is Krishna, in the office is Vishnu. That is one point. Easy to remember. You know, uh, because Vishnu is involved in the creation. Three Vishnus, they are fully involved in creation. But Krishna is not involved in creation. That is another reason why Vishnu's name appears a lot in Ved scriptures, Vedas. Why? They're because scriptures have a lot to speak on creation. So Purushabodhini Upanishad explains Krishna doesn't have directly connection with the creation. Krishna plays on the flute and enjoys. That's it. So the work is done by his expansions and incarnations. Any question? Otherwise, we'll go to the next topic. We started this next week, and I thought of shedding little more light. You know, any question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Amma.
I have a question. Like when we say 33 crore Devi Devtas,
Ah,
is it true? Like, do we have 33 crore? I was listening to something and they said it's like uh, 33 koti. That is like 33 like best of them. It's not 33 crore. So I was really confused. Like,
33 crore devatas. Mama, actually, the universe, the creation is very vast. Very vast means, for example, in your home, if you have a 5-bedroom home, you have to take care of so many things. And if you see this creation, very vast. Very vast means unlimited, let me tell you. That way, these devatas are there, as the in charge of this universal affairs. So you need that many people actually, Um, no, it is not just one planet we are talking about, you know. So universe has so many galaxies and solar systems, and so many parameters are to be considered. So they are in charge, you know. That is what I heard in the past, you know.
mm,
That is it. That's what I can tell.
okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anything else?
Yeah, probably a quick question. So here probably the Krishna is expansion like Balram and then Sankarshan. But why again after Narayan then Sankarshan?
Okay, so here I told this last week. Okay, so here this question is, this screen is asking. This is the screen you're asking, right?
Yes, sir.
So the first screen, Krishna comes from Krishna comes Balram, from Balram comes, Sankaran Pradyumna under the Vasudeva. they are for Krishna Loka alone. But, and I showed last week picture also. And again, Sankarshan comes Narayan, and Narayan is for the rest of the Vaikuntha planets. So the rest of the Vaikuntha planets, from Narayan comes again, it's called Dvitiya Chaturvyuha. Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Vasudeva, they are for the rest of the Vaikuntha planets. I showed a picture actually, all the Vaikuntha planets. You know? So actually, in the second, for the person who is taking care of rest of the Vaikuntha planets, there is called Mahasankarshan. You know, Mahasankarshan takes care of the Vaikuntha planets. And the Sankarshan that takes care of Krishna Loka is actually Sankarshan. Actually, from this Sankarshan comes Sadasiva. Okay. Any other?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So Devatas also spirit souls, then how can they die?
Die means, Prabhuji, what I'm trying to tell is they have a body. Like, you the way, like, for example, we are Jiva Tattva, we are also souls. How can we die then?
Okay.
What I'm trying to die means you leave the body.
Mm.
And the soul never dies, that is true, I agree.
Mm.
But for understanding sake, the soul never dies, but Devata's bodies are material. So after 71 Divi Yugas, they leave that body and they go to different place.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other question?
Prabhuji, I have one more question. When we have temples of Vishnu in India, so which Vishnu they refer to? Like Tirupati temple, they say like Vishnu is there because he took the loan from Kuber. So it's like which, like we say Vishnu, like it's of Vishnu, like Krishna Vishnu, or we say like Vishnu is separate.
Nice point. Thank you. Very wonderful point. Let me answer this Balaji thing. Balaji is actually among Kshirodaksa Vishnu. So what happens after this Naimisharanya, the sages, they conducted the fire sacrifice for so many years. This is mentioned in Bhagavatam actually. Then at the end, so this every universe has one Brahma, one Shiva and Vishnu. So they want to, the sages, they got doubt. The benefit of this fire sacrifice, whom should we give it? Somebody said Brahma, because he's secondary creator. Somebody said Lord Shiva, destroyer. Right, it should be given to Vishnu because he's the maintainer. Finally, they designated Bhrigu to decide. So they designated Bhrigu to conduct the test. So it's a long story. And Bhrigu tests all the three. I'll tell 2 minutes. So he purposefully offended all the three people. Bhrigu is actually son of Brahma. So he went to Brahma, and you go before Brahma, you have to offer obeisances, pranams. And he didn't do that. And Brahma became angry. And Brahma controlled himself. Bhrigu saw that. And when he went to Kailash, he stepped up his offense. Now it's verbal. So this Nandi said Lord Shiva is in private quarters with Parvati. Then Parvati, nobody is allowed. But Bhrigu violated and purposefully walked inside into his private quarters. Lord Shiva is in very, he was in Ekanta with Parvati, nobody is allowed. So Parvati became angry actually. Then suddenly Bhrigu walked in. Shiva somehow he controlled himself and he came forward to embrace Bhrigu. Bhrigu said, hey, who will embrace you? Your body, you smear your body with crematorium ashes. You always wear snakes. There are snakes around your hands and around your neck. I don't want to embrace you. Lord Shiva became angry. When he became angry, but he controlled himself. And Bhrigu saw that. Then he went to Vaikuntha, Milk Ocean, Palasamudra. And he stepped up his offense further from verbal to physical. He went and kicked on the chest of Vishnu. And Mother Lakshmi was actually massaging his feet. Vishnu got up and said, oh, I'm sorry. I think you're upset with me that I'm sleeping when you came in. So you got a lot of, you were hurt. You must have got a lot of pain in your feet, by kicking on my hard chest. and Vishnu started massaging his feet. And he didn't become angry. Wow. Bhrigu concluded, so this universe, for this universe, Vishnu is supreme. So then, because, Devatas can go up to only, these three, because these three are within the universe actually. And, that Vishnu came down. Lakshmi became angry because Vishnu did not say anything, when he kicked. First thing is that Brahma and Shiva purposely became angry only to show Vishnu is supreme. Second thing is that Vishnu came down in search of the Lakshmi went to Kolhapur in India, Maharashtra. Actually, that's where she started doing tapasya. So in search of Lakshmi ji, he came down to Tirupati. That is Kshirodakasya Vishnu. Okay. So what do you ask? Another question. What is that you asked?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat.
Wait. So that is you're clear, Amma? So there's a
Yes,
second
Prabhuji.
Vishnu. If you go to South Indian temples, you've been to any Sri Lankan temple, most of the time Indians know only Garbhodakasaya Vishnu. So now you see Vishnu lying down on the causal ocean, Vishnu lying down on the Garbhodak ocean. From his navel, Brahma comes. So this is a common picture that you see in any South Indian temples. Actually, any temple in India for that matter.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
that is Garbhodakasaya Vishnu. But I have not till this day, I haven't been to so many temples. I have never seen even one picture where Mahavishnu with universe is coming out. I have not seen any picture like that. I have not even seen a Vishnu with milk ocean. That's why Indians know, especially South Indians. Vishnu whose navel Brahma is coming. Okay?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Somebody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhu.
Prabhuji, my question is related to the non-devotees. So whatever non-devotees worship, whatever worship they perform to demigods, is that even counted? Is that even called bhakti, Prabhuji?
Thank you for nice question. It is not bhakti. It is worship. Bhakti is performed to Bhagavan only. Bhakti means a devotional service. Devotional service means a selfless, unmotivated, uninterrupted, which will lead to selfless, ecstatic love. So you say, I love my country. That is not bhakti. I love my father. That is not bhakti. Worship is different. Upasana is different. But devotional service is different. Devotional service is performed to Krishna or Vishnu Tattva. Krishna or Vishnu Tattva are in the category of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rest are not. Very clear point.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada mentions it very clear. So I love this Devata, that is not Bhakti. Bhakti is performed only to Bhagavan. Who is Bhagavan? Krishna. Bhagavan Ishvara Hari. So worship performed to Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna or his expansions Vishnu Tattva, then only you'll call it Bhakti. So any other thing, otherwise we'll go forward.
Uh,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I had a question. It was ki, does Vishnu have like a meaning for his name? Like Krishna's name means all attractive. So
Vishnu means all pervading.
okay.
Narayana means shelter of living entities.
Also sacrifice, Prabhuji, right?
Vishnu is not sacrifice. So it's actually that is the thing. Narayana, so is a shelter of living entities. Vishnu is the all-pervasive Supreme Personality of God. That is it.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other thing?
Prabhuji, I had one question.
Uh,
Last time when you told that Shiva comes when Vishnu and the material energy Maya comes together, then Shivji comes, right? So because Maya is material, so is Shivji, does he have a material body or he has a mixture of both?
No, first of all, actually, I said Shivji comes in contact with Maya.
Okay.
I didn't say, So there's a small correction. In order to bring all the living entities, in order to bring living entities into the material world, Vishnu glances. Mahatattva, or the metal energy. That glance is Shiva, you know. So Shiva, actually Bhakti Thakur says, Shiva, actually Sadasiva comes from Sankarshana. Sadasiva is spiritual. Actually, Shiva is Vishnu Tattva, Prabhu. Sadasiva is Vishnu Tattva. Shiva, but Shiva has a Tattva. You know, why though he is coming from Sankarshan, why we are not calling him Vishnu Tattva? Though he is actually portion of Vishnu Tattva, because Shiva voluntarily comes in contact with the Durga, metal energy, and he takes care of the destructive activity, you know, and of the creation. So one thing is clear: Sadasiva stays in the spiritual world, you know, but the Shiva whom we are talking about comes in contact with Maya, metal energy, so that's why, you know, Lord Shiva is represented with the linga. What is it? Creative, procreative male organ, and Durga ji is Maya is represented with you know, what is that? Feminine aspect of the creation, you know. 'Cause Shiva is, that's why is shown as linga, and Durga is actually, you know, feminine aspect of the creative energy. So he comes in contact with Durga. So voluntarily, you know, he voluntarily he comes under the influence of Durga, but no, his body is not material, Prabhu. No. So that is you asked that question, you know. So is Shiva's body material? You asked, right? No.
Yes.
Shiva is no.
Okay.
Shiva is also Purusha, you know. But as you know, part of the creation, that is his duty. He comes in contact with Durga, Maya. That's why it's called Shambhu Tattva. I told last week, you know, like milk coming in contact with tamarind or some lemon juice, milk becomes yogurt. But yogurt cannot become milk. So if you consider Krishna as milk, the yogurt is Lord Shiva. You understanding?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll go forward. So this is about Krishna Tattva. We talked about Krishna Tattva. I know. Then, now we are getting into Bhagavad Gita. Now what happened? Arjun became depressed, and Krishna became upset. You know, he said, you know, Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Sampasthitam Anare Jushtama Swargyam Akirti Karmarjuna. Hey, dear, what is this? How is that impurities are coming on you? This is not befitting a man who knows the value of life. Actually, this question always comes in either assignments of exam of Bhakti Shastri. Who is Aryan? One who knows the value of life. How do you value your life? $1 million? A position? CEO? You can have it, but they're all temporary. Aryan means who understands the value of life and who utilizes the human life for self-realization. That is Aryan. Who is Aryan? Instead of utilizing the human life to achieve material things, he will utilize human life for self-realization. Because that is the highest perfection, zenith of perfection. What is zenith of perfection? You can go back to Godhead by attaining self-realization. Otherwise, sometimes people work very hard. Finally, at the age of 70, they'll open a big business. And 3 years, and then they become billionaires, and 3 years later they die. Then what is the use of that $1 billion? Yes or no? You know? So, but if you utilize human life to become free from cycle of birth and death, that is the real benefit. That is real Aryan. You know? So Krishna is telling, can you see the screen? Do not yield to this degrading importance. O son of Partha, son of Pratha, it does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of enemy. Arjun said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in the battle, men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship. Now, so he's telling, it would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superior. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy, will be tainted with the blood. No, so Arjuna is again telling, no, I don't want to. Krishna, will you fight with Ugrasena? You will not fight with Ugrasena, right? With your grandfather. So I don't want to fight with my teachers. But he's giving all the reasons, and he came to a point. What is that? I don't know what to do. You said in verse 6th. Verse 7th. Finally, Karpanyatoshopahatasva bhava pruchamitam dharma samudha cheta shreyascha nishitam ruhitam me sishyasteham sadivan tvam prapanno. I am confused. I have lost my composure because of the miserly weakness. That is the word. Karpanya dosha. In this condition, I don't know what to do. I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, surrender to me. Please instruct me. And actually, I want everyone to read this verse. If you really understand this verse, you can and apply it in your life. It will change your life. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I cannot fight. At the same time, I cannot give up fighting. I'm supposed to fight because they're cheating us. But if I fight, they will die. And if I become victorious, my hands are tainted with blood. Rest of the life I'll be sad. I killed my grandfather. I killed my uncle. And I became king. I should not have done this. If I don't fight, it's a problem. Why I'm telling this? Today world, people, they try to get into positions by hook or crook. But after getting into the position, the mind will lead them up. That people nobody discusses. Now he's telling this. This grief is drying me up. And what is the punchline in this verse? Even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth, this grief will not end. For example, just a metal example. So you have cheated somebody to get into position. You got into the position, for the rest of the life, you cheated him, you cheated him, you cheated him. For the students, you ditch one girlfriend to go with another girlfriend. And it keeps on bugging you for the rest of the life. So, in other words, lead a very simple, dharmic life, spiritual life, rather than resorting to shortcuts to gain material things. That is the punchline. Prabhupada mentions, Arjuna would not have said, this point, if money is happiness, Arjuna would not have said this. I will not be able to dispel this grief, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom. That will keep on bothering you. You did this, you should not have done it. We all have a little experience actually. Yes, sir. So now Arjuna is confused. He doesn't know what to do. And finally what he did, the friend became a disciple. Sishyasteham. So text number 7 is the change of Bhagavad Gita, change of God. Arjun friend became disciple. Sishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. Can you see verse number 7? Now I am your disciple. A soul surrendered unto you. No, I'm not a friend. I'm not quarreling with you. I'll not argue with you. Tell me whatever I should do, I'll do it. Sometimes you say, tell your friends, hey, whatever you tell me to, I'll do. Yes or no? Because you're unable to make a decision. So we all need to have a guru like that. Prabhupada says, if you are sincere like Arjuna, if you have Bhagavad Gita in your hand, that Bhagavad Gita will help you solve the problem, Prabhupada says. You don't need to have Krishna in front of you, because Bhagavad Gita is also Krishna. You will get the direction. If you understand Gita, if you approach Gita the way Arjun did, The Gita book, Bhagavad Gita book will also help you because it is non-different from Krishna. Now, when Arjun surrendered like that, now Krishna starts preaching in the text number 11.
So in 18th chapter, Krishna says like surrender unto me. So is it the same surrender Arjuna is saying here, or just like surrendering for guidance?
So your question, 18th chapter, surrender unto me, Krishna is telling, first of all, Arjun became a disciple and looking for knowledge. Basically, he wants Krishna to tell him why he should fight if he has to fight, why he should not fight if he is not going to fight. So you give me direction. So you got job in Boston, you got job in California. You tell me whether I should go to Boston or California. But after telling me, you have to convince me why I should go to Boston or why I should go to California. We always hit the T junction, right? So, what is that? Should I get into job or should I go for PhD? Sometimes people think like that. Should I get a job or should I get married? Or some different. Always two things. People end up in two things. So they need one guide. Hey, tell me what I should do. The guide will tell you, you go this way because this is good for you. And you'll go that way. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, Arjun surrendered and Krishna starts preaching to us, not to Arjun actually. But of course, Krishna bewildered Arjun, so he's preaching to Arjuna. He's preaching to us through Arjuna. And text number 12 to 30 is actually only one topic. You're not the body, you're a spirit soul. But before that, 11th is also, 11th is Krishna's chastising Arjuna. You're thinking you're a big man, but you're talking like a fool. He said, he chastised. And 2.12, if you take this one line home from today, only 2.12, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. This is how the English works. But if you want me to translate this into our day-to-day language, the answer is simple. We are always there. Soul is eternal. That is the meaning of text number 12. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you, me, these 650 million people, we are always there. 5,000 years ago, we are always there. We were there that time. 5,000 years later, we'll be there. That one point you should understand. Soul is eternal. Sat. We are always there. Based on karma, one time you get a feminine body, one time you get a masculine body. One time you're a Prabhu, one time you're a Mataji, one time you're a dog, one time you're a cat, one time you're a beast, or a bird, or a reptile. We are taking bodies based on our karma. But what is the moral? We are always there. How many of you understood? We are always there. If you see, if this sinks into your consciousness, it'll change your life. We are always there. Then Krishna says, then the next question that comes, I'm not talking Bhagavad Gita 11th verse, I'm talking to you directly. What is that? If I am always there, I should be someplace where I should be permanent. I should not be continuously taking bodies one after another. How many of you understood? Yes. This knowledge we didn't have when we are in a dog body, cat body. Even a human body we had. For some reason, if you end up in Africa, you'll never hear Bhagavad Gita. Right? If you end up in some remote part of even India, you'll never come in contact with Bhagavad Gita. Or you may be a businessman selling Bhagavad Gita, but you'll never open Bhagavad Gita. How many of you are understanding? So today we are all listening. This line means some grace has happened in our life. Some grace came into our life. 2.12 is a verse. Very powerful. That's what Krishna is beginning the verse with. That's why Bhagavad Gita is great. What is Krishna telling? You open any religious book anywhere in the world, the first verse will not say you're always there. But of course, there is one more book. Huh? That the verse, if you open the first line itself, is that Atato Brahma Jignasa. You know, but this is a little different. You know, it starts with the. I have not seen any book that starts with the first line. Therefore, you should inquire. Therefore means what? There are 10 reasons. Therefore, but this book is telling the first line is therefore. Why you mind? Now you have attained your human life. Therefore, you should inquire. Why you should inquire? You're stuck in the cycle of birth and death, sir. You're stuck in the cycle of birth and death. I have a question for all of you. You know, you took birth in 98 or 2001, 2000. Add 80, 70, 60 years. And after you become old, one day you leave this body and die. Nobody, family will not come with you. Children will not come with you. Career will not come with you. How many of you are a billionaire in the previous life? Do you know? Even if you're a billionaire, where is that money? You know, even if your daughter and son were next door neighbor, you don't even know. Some of you maybe, you know, what is that? Einstein sitting in this room, we don't know. Yes or no? So it's a karma. But what is number 8? Infinite cycle of birth and death, we are stuck. So Krishna is telling, that's why he's beginning Bhagavad Gita, talking about the Sat feature of the soul. Arjuna, we are always there. We are always there. Every jiva is always there. Then you'll ask, why if I'm there? I have a question for all of you. Who wants to go through a cycle of birth and death? Birth, old age, disease and death. Birth, old age, disease and death. You know, once you touch 50, body keeps on giving trouble. Even if you have millions in the bank. Then what is the use of that money if you are going through so much trouble? And you cannot reconstruct it. And it will end anyway. Okay, chapter is closed. Yes, or to open this another chapter again. Fresh. How many of you understand? So Bhagavad Gita is not a book for just Bhakti Shastri, let me tell you. Bhagavad Gita is a book of life. And you can actually, it impels you to make serious decisions in your life. But anyway, now 12th verse Krishna is telling the eternity of the soul. You're always there. You are always there, sir, ma'am. Then 13 verse onwards, then Krishna is giving the descriptions. You know, Dehinasnita dehi kamaraya vanajrata dehantar praptir. Ji diyas tatanu. If you want, I can show the presentation. You all might have seen hundreds of times. But the simple thing is, you are always there. Because of the presence of soul, body keeps on aging out. Childhood, boyhood, youthhood, and old age. One day the soul becomes unfit to live in this body. It will leave that body and go to a different place. You know, don't know where it is going, when we are going, how we are going, why we are going, we don't know, but we'll go. Then the 14th verse, if you all agree, I can skip if you have understood. But you want me to explain, okay, simple thing. I can explain a few things actually. One very important thing in that 11th to 30th verse is this. Just I think it's important. We'll touch that. Basically, to remember that, it's very important, Um, so we have all these elements in our body. And the body, the element, the cost of elements is only $5. We are not bag of elements. We are bag of chemicals. We are spirit soul. You know, like the driver to the body. You know, yeah, this is a very important screen also. So, because of the presence of soul, the body goes through the changes: childhood, boyhood, youthhood to old age. One day the soul becomes unfit to live, then the soul goes to next thing. And you're not the body that you see in the mirror, but your soul within the body. You know? So like the car to the driver, we are the soul is the driver, and the soul is the driver, and body is the car. And today we forgot that. You know? And one more point I want to show is because of the presence of the soul, body goes through 6 changes. You have to remember this is also question in Bhakti Shastri. What are the 6 changes the body goes through because of the presence of soul? We take birth, we grow, we stay for some time, we give birth to children, byproducts, and the body starts becoming weak, and one day the body dies. And this is actually I want to show this. Anand Sagar Jayanadru, what is your question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is related to the bodies of demigods. I know that Brahma being the highest living entity, his body is only made up of intelligence. But what about other demigods, Prabhuji?
Actually, demigods' bodies are subtle, not like our gross bodies.
Mind intelligence?
Listen, yeah, that's it. They don't have a gross body like we have, but their bodies are subtle. Means they have mind, intelligence, ego, but but very well developed. So, but they don't have a gross body like the gross body, like like us, you know. So when you sweat, you don't get all the foul substances in. They don't get all the bad substance like we get in our bodies. So their bodies are subtle. But one different, like you said, Brahma's body is made up of intelligence, bro. Brahma is coming from Garbhodaksa Vishnu. That's why his body is made up of intelligence. But other devatas' bodies are made up of subtle. Their bodies are subtle. Okay.
So they all have 3 elements: mind, intelligence, ego, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So we have a gross body. This gross body is made up of Panchabhutas: earth, water, fire, air, ether. They have a subtle body. We have a subtle body made up of mind, intelligence, and ego. And in that soul is there. Soul has a spiritual body made of Sachitananda, eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Can you everyone see this? The inside soul, this is what we are, sir. Ma'am. Because of the presence of soul, and we also have karma. Our subtle body is shaped in one way based on our karma. And because of that, the gross body is created. You're understanding? The soul in the deer body means he has the desires to enjoy like that of a deer. That's why he got the deer body. So based on our desires and karma together, we get a particular type of human body. This is mentioned in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Srotra chakshur sparsanam cha rasanam ghranam cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishyanu. Clear? And we don't need to show the proofs. These are like, we try to convince people by showing all these videos, but basically, this we have to understand mechanism of incarnation. The soul is present in the region of the heart. Soul is present in the region of the heart. That one should know. What is causing the heart to pump the blood 24/7? Soul. Somebody has a question. What is the question, Amma? Priya Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question is there a concept like old soul and a new soul?
Souls are all old. You are not 16. We are not 16. We are a trillion year old. You know, Purana. Na hanyate hanyamane sarire. Adyam Purana Purusham. You know, such soul is very old. We are all very old. How old? Maybe more than trillion. But we got this body 20-30 years ago. Soul is very ancient.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So the soul is present in the region of the heart. You know?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. So soul is present in the region of heart. Even Srimad Bhagavatam, the Angushta, a thumb size, Krishna is there. But I am a physician, so one day I got a chance to see a heart transplant. That patient didn't have his heart. He was in a bypass. So we put a heart of another dying person into that. So that moment I had this doubt, where was the soul now? Because that heart is gone. There is no heart inside. We removed that heart.
Thank you. Very good. Wonderful question, actually. So, actually, this question, what will happen to the soul when there is a bypass surgery takes place? This question was asked before, you know. So, Prabhuji, what happens is, like, your car, you met with an accident and your car is damaged. What you will do? You'll get out of the car, you know. So, then they'll give you another car, if you have insurance. So, it's a temporary adjustment. That's why I said, I didn't tell you soul is present in the heart. I said in the region of the heart. Can you read the screen? Soul resides in the region of the heart. And soul is subtle. It is not a physical element. So for example, physical element means like a match in the matchbox. Not like that. Soul is subtle. That is spiritual. Soul is not material. So the material properties don't apply in the soul. So when you do the heart transplant, and when you remove the heart and put another heart, the soul will come out and wait. And when you put the another heart, it will go inside.
Outer body experience.
Right.
Thank you.
Govindanath is selling outer body experience. So actually, I'll tell you, when you go through so much suffering, mind, soul with the subtle body, mind cannot take it actually, especially. It will immediately come out. That's why when people go through, these operations, they come out. This subtle body comes out. When subtle body comes out, soul comes out. That's why they see their own body being operated. So the pain cannot be, it's too much pain. Mind cannot take it. Then it will come out. But whether you come out or stay inside, you have to be in that body is determined already. Prakriti has already decided you should be in this body. That's why, actually, purposefully I skipped a screen, but I have to show you now because you asked this question. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
When, it's called outer body experience. When people meet with an accident, doctors say they're dead already. Heart is not functioning, nothing is functioning. And then many patients said they were going through a tunnel very fast. End of the tunnel, there was a big light. So there's one doctor called Michael Sabom, he did research. And suddenly, actually they were liking it. They were going through very fast. They were liking it. Suddenly, don't know what happened. They were brought back and pushed into their body without their approval. They didn't like that. Because they have this very light experience. And they were liking it when they were going fast. Suddenly they were pushed into this gross body, against their will and wish. Many patients replied that. Why? Who knows you're connected to this body? Nature, Prakriti knows. And you have to go through whatever is suffering that has to come through this body and happiness, you have to go through that. So, because for various reasons, you have this outer body experience, but nature realized, no, your time is not over yet. Still, you have to go through some suffering and happiness in this body. Come back. and you're pushed. Actually, I can even show one more picture actually. So enough research yeah, can you see this? The soul, it comes out. It comes when there is an operation going on. The soul with subtle body comes out and waits. But once whatever operation is over, then soul has to go back to the body. Clear? So, what is your question, Prabhu? Answer.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, since a demigod's body consists mainly of a mind, intelligence, ego, how do they perceive things, Prabhuji? Like they don't have senses. For example, Indra got attracted to
No,
Gautam Rishi's wife.
it's a regular. They have, I told, their bodies are subtle, but they also have 2 hands, 2 legs, everything. They also have senses, but they don't have gross senses like us. You're understanding? They have
Yes.
that subtle body has senses, everything is there. The Indra also enjoys like anything. In fact, they enjoy much more than we do. So soul is according to 2 Upanishads, Sweta Asutana Upanishad and Kathopanishad, it is 10 power minus for the tip of the hair. And that is the soul that is present in all the living entities. What happens at the time of death? At the time of death, the gross body is left behind, and with the subtle body has all the desires, especially the mind. And mind is a repository. Repository means storehouse of all our thoughts, all our our desires. So if you have a lot of desires at the time of death, based on your desires and karma, you'll go to the next body. But before that body comes, if you can dissolve the subtle body, or if you purify all your desires, then you'll go back to Godhead.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, can I ask the continuity question like we were discussing when we changed the art? How do we define coma then? Like sometimes the doctors put the patients on ventilators, so it's not their time to leave the body, or they have their like life in it and they have to suffer. So how do we define that?
So basically, coma. Okay, this is the thing. You, for various reasons, whatever the reasons of karma, you have to be in this body actually up to this many number of breaths, not number of years. A soul has to be in the gross and subtle body. It is decided by super Paramatma, and of course Prakriti knows that too. How many not number of years, but number of breaths. So coma is also sort of suffering actually. Recently I went to somebody's home actually just before Janmashtami. The mother is 90-year-old, bedridden past 10 years in America only actually. So 90-year-old means she has to, whatever the karma that is there, she has to go through that. Then only she can leave. You're understanding? So in youth, we don't understand all these things actually.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
And once the last breath, your connection to the last breath, once the last breath is over, then only your connection to the body is over. Until such time, you have to be in the body. Even if it is difficult, you have to be there only. There is one famous superstar. He was performing a very rare feat during acting, and he fell down and landed on his head. From neck to toe, he was paralyzed. And so many years, he was like that Hollywood star. Finally passed away in 2004 or 5. So, body actually, that's why it's called, this body is, about this body most of the time, it will be very little happiness, but most of the time it gives a lot of suffering actually. So, yadbhavam tadbhavati. What?
The size of the soul is same for ant and elephant.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. Whatever you think at the time of death, you will become that. Yam yam va bismaran bhava. Tejatante kalevaram tam tamavati kavante sada tadbhava bhavita. Whatever you think of at the time of death, you will become that. So, why we ask people to chant, why we take a bhakti yoga process, so that the subtle body is purified, mind is purified, intelligence pure, mental subtle body is purified. Then at the end of the life, we can think of Krishna. We can think of Krishna at the time of death. But if you don't know Krishna, many people think life is enjoyment. Then some people try to enjoy in the mode of goodness. Some people try to enjoy in the mode of passion. Some people try to enjoy in the mode of ignorance. Then based on that, they'll get different bodies.
Do we, like, based on our last thought, we get the next body?
Hmm.
What about the next right? Like the second.
I didn't get you.
So like we got the body, let's say, of elephants. And what about the next body to that? So because the elephant we don't have any consciousness or anything, so how we get the next body?
So Prabhuj is asking, okay, your last thought is elephant is very nice, you thought. Then we got the elephant body. Then because elephant doesn't know anything other than eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. How do you know the next body after elephant? And what is the next body? Once you get into animal species, there is a series. You'll go through all the series. It'll take very long time. Actually, you're going to you'll get animal body only when you're in Tamaguna. So when you're in Tamaguna, then only you'll get animal species. Once you get into animal species, Prabhupada mentions, you'll go through all the animal species.
Is there any hierarchy, like, for example, like from...
So the hierarchy, yes. Hierarchy is given, and honestly speaking, I don't know that hierarchy. I cannot tell you all the 8.4 million living entities hierarchy.
Like 4 legs are less conscious than 2 legs.
But
that is hierarchy.
that is that no, but I cannot tell for all the 8.4 million living entities. So like first, actually the grass, grass, the plants are the lowest consciousness. From the grass to four-legged. From the four-legged, actually in that also carnivorous and herbivorous, the classification is there. Actually it is a single atom amoeba, it starts to multi-atom, and that multi-atom eventually grass, then four-legged, then eventually two-legged, then finally again human body. It takes long time.
Is it true that we get birth of a cow before getting the birth of human?
That is one exit. Usually it is, and I mentioned many times, you get to the final is cow and then come to human being. Not everyone has to go through cow and get human being too. So there are different ways based on your 3 modes. What is the karma at the time of getting into the animal species? That karma acts on that.
And also sometimes if devotee or someone they come across, they might get next to birth as human being.
If they get prasad, yes. If they eat prasad, then they'll get the human body. They'll break the cycle, that chain also. That is true.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Bodily consciousness depends upon the soul, Prabhuji. Like how we have to see body consciousness is separate from the soul consciousness.
I'm sorry. Here somebody speaking of, I didn't get. Just hold on. You're telling me.
That is mercy of Krishna that we get.
Yeah, it's definitely causeless mercy only. When they come in contact with prasad, anything related to Krishna and Bhakti, then they'll break abruptly that chain and they'll get to human life.
Having like certain number of breaths instead of having certain number of years. So that way, if one increases their breaths, their years by doing pranayama or anything like that. So the suffering or the happiness that's supposed to come, that time also increases or decreases, or that doesn't change?
Okay, this is the thing. Any nice point. I also meditated on this a lot. By doing pranayama, you can increase your lifespan for sure. You know, so but Prabhupada means like, for example, you breathe in 1 minute 6 times, 7 times. If you cut it down to 3 times, you will live around 160 years. If you are to live 80 years, you live 160 years for sure. Prabhupada mentions it that when you take birth, how much happiness you get, how much distress you get is fixed. That will not change. So, if you can increase your lifespan, so that is also accordingly adjusted.
Is it like happiness will
But-
also get divided into number of breaths only, not the time, not the seconds?
Time in the sense, it spans like that. So now, for example, you have doubled it. So you have doubled it means, you'll get something has to happen, right? Probably it's all in the mind most of the time, So, though it is very fixed, how material nature works, we do not know for sure. But it will be spanned in that many years, I can tell you. When you do all these things, pranayama and all, it will bring you to mode of goodness. Mode of goodness means always better life, peace, and definitely better life. Yes, Mataji, somebody is online.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. How we can differentiate bodily consciousness with soul consciousness, Prabhuji? Because once soul leaves, like the body is, it's not like active. Right? The life concept of human beings is it's based on the presence of soul within us, right, Prabhuji? Like how we have to treat, because soul is not having any physical object. It's like so how we have to separate these two things.
Actually, I didn't answer. Okay, no, you said bodily consciousness, soul consciousness, you said.
She's saying how is their connection, like the subtle body thing she's asking.
No, repeat again, Amma. Repeat again, please.
Yeah, same Prabhuji. Like, one soul leaves means like we are like a dead matters. So when these two are interlinked, right, Prabhuji? I mean, bodily consciousness and soul consciousness. So how we have to move from bodily consciousness to the soul consciousness so that we can uplight or as enlight our.
Okay, now how to move from bodily consciousness to soul consciousness? That question I understood. Let me answer. Okay. When you are in bodily consciousness, your senses are very active. You like to eat. You like to, for example, you have 5 senses. We like to eat nicely. We want to see nice things. Long weekend came, let me go to Florida. I know you want to see nice things. You want to hear nice music. Skin is looking for opposite sex touch. So, in other words, you try to satisfy or gratify your senses. That is bodily platform. Mental platform means you want to satisfy your mind. Oh, you're amazing. You look so beautiful, and wow, you're very talented. So, oh, thank you. Name and fame. You have 3 million followers on Facebook. Whole world knows you. Wow, amazing. So that is mental conscious. That's how you are satisfied mentally. Soul consciousness means, soul has nothing to do with all whatever I said before. A soul is part and parcel of Krishna. Soul is happy when you give Krishna to the soul. So, like you do mantra meditation. Soul is very happy. You put prasad on your tongue, soul is blissful. Even if you put Kerala Prasad on your tongue, soul is blissful. But mind doesn't like it. But it's offered to Krishna, the Kerala, soul is very happy. If you are that time mental platform, I don't want Kerala. Why? Your mind is very active. But your soul is blissful. So that's why goal of life is to train whatever is good for soul. Bhakti Yoga, you all came, right? You are performing Bhakti Yoga. Many times mind is resisting. No, I don't want. But your intelligence, whatever grace you have got, Krishna's grace, because of which your intelligence is a little sharp. You are pushing yourself towards bhakti, knowing very well this is good for you. It is like, mind is telling on Monday morning, don't go to work. But your intelligence knows if you work, you'll get a paycheck by which you pay the rent and take care of the needs. Likewise, your intelligence understood this spiritual life is good for you in the long run. Or in presently, it is very good. So, you are trying to neglect the mind. and trying to pursue spiritual life where you're trying to be happy by coming in contact with Krishna, by acquiring knowledge, eating Krishna's remnants prasad, reading Shastra. So that's how you're slowly trying to elevate your consciousness from body level to spiritual level, which is very good also. You understand?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I have a question. So now you just spoke about how the souls are getting transformed from body to body, every material and material. So now my question, Prabhuji, is now there are like so many human beings. The population of humans is increasing every day by day. So does that mean like every four-legged animal is getting converted into or getting what is that? Getting up into the two legs human beings and like this.
Roji, without 15 years ago, without this question, Huyama session never ended. Somehow nowadays nobody's asking this question, but those days everyone would ask. So the common question is, how is population increasing? That is a common question. First of all, your answer is right. In the evolution, the species are coming to human body, but humans are supposed to go back to Godhead because they should go back to Godhead, do sadhana. Because of Kaliga and all glories to universities who are emphasizing on material education and comforts. So university is telling make your life comfortable because there is no second life. For that reason, this human is again getting into human life, and other species are evolving. Also, souls from other other multiverse also come to this world, and take birth. And the species are also evolving to get human birth. So many regions, different souls are evolving to finally attain human birth. But human birth, humans are not exiting to go back to Godhead. Instead, either they're coming back to human life or they're getting into animal species. Most of the people, I think, because they did little good karma, that's why they're ending up taking human births. For that reason, the population is increasing. By the way, I have a question for you. How many humans you think are there? No, how many humans you think are there? Or how many species are there you think?
8.4 million.
That is species, but I'm talking about the number, population.
Unlimited. Infinite.
How many?
Yeah, in multiverse and then yes. So there are like unlimited souls.
Exactly. If you start putting zeros on the planet, you start zero from here and go around the planet and put one here, that many souls are there. Unlimited souls.
And some demigods will also come here after they finish their punya.
True. That's why I said different regions they're coming, different multiverse they're coming. Okay? Wait. Does it answer the question, bro?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Like when we chant, so our soul get blessed because of the vibration that we feel or like through the sound form of the Krishna. But how we get that bliss through the prasadam, because prasadam is something material.
Spiritualized matter.
But it gets especially with how it give bliss to the soul.
We do not know. Actually, the moment you put prasad on your tongue, soul is present. Like sun is, how sun is, it's given in second chapter only. The way sun is spread all over the universe, through sunlight, the influence of the soul is spread in the entire body. So the moment you put prasad on your tongue, immediately if it is prasad, spiritual, soul recognizes that and soul becomes ecstatic. But between you and soul, there is mind. Mind only wants a temporary enjoyment. You put Kerala, I don't want. So because we are in the mental level, our Annamaya platform, sensual level, we eat because it is gulab jamun. We don't eat it because it's prasad. That's why we want gulab jamun prasad, we don't want Kerala prasad. But soul is blissful when the moment it eats Kerala prasad also, because it's prasad. And one lecture I heard, when the parents have a son, the son joins full time, the soul of the parents becomes blissful. Oh, my son became, I couldn't do it, but my son joined full time. But their mind is there. Because the mind is there, mind gives so much trouble. Why he joined? So, because they are not on that platform, right? So what we have to do as a sadhaka, but that's why sadhaka very important. One point, what is that? Knowledge, acquisition of knowledge. So when you put the Karela on your tongue, this is eaten by Krishna. This is very good for me. My mind is rejecting, and because it wants only, temporary pleasure. But I know this is very good for me, and you eat it, you love it. You're understanding or not? It's all how you convince.
Train your mind.
How you train your mind, exactly. How you convince your mind. People are right now enjoying in bar and restaurants because the mind is fully absorbed in that. You know very well it's not good. Your enjoyment is acquisition of knowledge. Your enjoyment is service. Somebody comes in to the temple morning and evening, they mop the floor. And we have doctors. We have very qualified people. We don't even pay them. They're coming and doing service. Forget it, anybody. We are also doing full-time role. Not to speak of anybody. For so many years. If you just give opportunity to mind says you're doing nonsense, chalo, niklo. So, but we have trained our mind. This is very good for me. And you will also get realizations based on that. Understanding or not? So, that is how you go forward. That's why it said, mind makes heaven out of hell, hell out of heaven. For example, somebody goes to hell, they'll be suffering like anything. Prabhupada, I read, Prabhupada said, to please Lord Chaitanya, I can go to hell. The personality like Prabhupada goes to hell, he'll be very happy. He starts chanting Hare Krishna. And he's happy and all the souls, they'll become happy too. And Prabhupada converts that hell into Vaikuntha in 1 second based on his consciousness. You're understanding or not? So one day Prabhupada ended up in Bauri, exactly. Then Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, sorry, we brought you this all rats, it's all dirty place, stool. Prabhupada said, no, this is Vaikuntha, very nice place. He's able to see that. We are unable to, we are on the mental platform. One time, they were all going in a train. Shruti Prabhu mentions it. In the Alps, this mountains, Switzerland. Alps in Switzerland?
Europe, yeah.
Europe, okay. And they were talking. So for that moment, they forget Prabhupada is next to them. So nicely mountains. Prabhupada said, however beautiful material nature, never trust material nature. And he said, because we are standing next to pure devotee, next minute, we became conscious. Why? Material nature is constantly changing. If you go to river, any river, every minute the river is drawing beautiful designs in the water. Next second, that design disappears. So whatever you see something very beautiful, after some time it is not beautiful. But to tempt you, that object appears beautiful to you for some time. But nothing is permanent. So a person who is very knowledgeable, he sees with the eyes of knowledge. And discriminate. Thank you very much. I think it's not Bhakti Shastri, it is more or less like
Bhakti connection.
it is like becoming like, oh no, that's okay. These are fundamentals. But actually, I want you guys to have a very clear first obstacle, let me tell you, in the faith. You should accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. You should be convinced Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahman is Krishna's bodily effulgence. There is a story in Bhagavad Gita 10th canto. And Paramatma is Vishnu Tattva, Krishna's localized portion. How many of you are convinced? I have no problem. I'm happy that I extended one more session. This is very important. And if you're convinced you are a spirit soul, not the body, and after today's session, after third chapter is over, you'll get an assignment, and whatever today I said, many questions will come from, and be ready for it. Actually, no. So third chapter onwards, one assignment, but sixth chapter onwards, one exam. After 6 chapters are over, one exam will come. So my request to you all, please read. I strongly encourage you to finish first chapter, but very important is introduction. Read introduction, first chapter, and Second chapter we just covered only half. Actually, we covered only 1/3 second chapter. That's it. You know. Okay, thank you very much. And it's 8 o'clock. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev patitanam
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
So be ready. After third chapter, assignment will come. You know, if you want, I can send it now. That way, what are the questions that are there in first and the second chapters? You can start writing it. I want to show it today, but time is not there.
You can send it now, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, please send.
Yeah.
What we will do? Give me like tomorrow. You know, the class now. I'll send it. Then you can start answering it as based on how much portion you have covered.
Yes.
And you don't need to fill the pages. Let me tell you. I want is you understood the concept, and tomorrow you'll preach the same concept to others. That's what I want. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jai